Umagyantimadandasya Gilangana Shalakaya Chaksunamilitam Jena Tajma Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Vitale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadanti Svapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama. Thank you so much for inviting me to this, I always called August Assembly of Devotees. You all deserve that term. August means the topmost in society. Just like in mundane society, we always hear about the 1%. The 1%, those who are most famous, most prosperous, have all the wealth, etc. But that's nothing compared to a Vaishnava or a Vaishnavi. Because a Vaishnava or a Vaishnavi is aspiring for the Padam Gatim, the highest goal of life, and is living a holy life. So they're special persons. You may not always recognize them walking down the street or shopping for groceries or whatever, but they're recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because each and every Vaishnava and Vaishnavi is calling out to Krishna every day. My dear Lord, my dear energy of the Lord, Vrindavaneshwari, Srimati Radharani, please pick me up from this ocean of death and fix me safely as an atom at your lotus feet. We know that the spiritual world is so far away that Prabhupada gave a wonderful analogy, because sometimes philosophical concepts may be a little difficult to comprehend, so analogies are given to make them more easily understandable. He said, the spiritual world is so far away that even if you could travel at the speed of the mind for 1,000,000 years, you wouldn't reach it. How far away is that? It's so far away that even if you traveled at the speed of the mind for 1,000,000 years, you wouldn't reach it. Now, how fast is the speed of the mind? We have speeding cars, we have bullet trains. I know I take bullet trains in China when I'm visiting China. Something like 500 kilometers an hour. We have supersonic jets. We have satellite. But that's nothing compared to the speed of the mind. For example, we're here right now, and maybe your grandmother's in London. You think of her, boom, you're there. Someone's very far away in Hong Kong. You think of them, boom, you're there. That's the speed of the mind. I can't think of anything material that's faster than the speed of the mind. But even with this, if you could travel, let's just say theoretically, at the speed of the mind for 1,000,000 years, you couldn't reach Vaikuntha. It's so far, far away. Actually, one time Prabhupada said there's more universes in this mature creation than there are grains of sand on this earth planet. You've been to Durban beachfront, Ratha Yatra. You get some grains of sand in your shoe. So Vaikuntha is very far away. But that's our Panam Gatim. That's our goal. And why is it our goal? Because Sri Krishna Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is waiting for us. Krishna wants us to go back to the spiritual world more than we want to go back to the spiritual world. Just like you have children. You want your children to go to school more than they want to go to school. So Krishna has our real interest, our heart's desire. Krishna knows our real heart's desire to reestablish our loving relationship with him. He understands, just like the parents, they know that the desires of their children as they mature, more than the children are aware of. Children just want to watch cartoons. But you know that you can't watch cartoons your whole life. You have to get serious. So you go to school today. No playing, do your homework. Don't procrastinate. But we as jivas, lost souls, We left the spiritual world to come to the material world to try to enjoy. We give our spiritual lives kind of a back seat. With all due respect, in the Christian tradition, they go to church on Sunday. Or our Muslim brothers and sisters, they go to the mosque on Friday. I don't know when the Jewish people go to whatever, but there's something there, but it's not enough to get back to the spiritual world. So in our tradition, our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, Prabhupada said, if you've got time, chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. One time, one of my god sisters, well, not one time, a time, when one of my god sisters was before Srila Prabhupada for her initiation into the chanting of the holy names, Harinam initiation. She came before Prabhupada. There was a long line of devotees. She came up, and Prabhupada said, so what are the 4 rules and regulations? So she got it right because she had a little piece of paper there. You get nervous in front of your guru. I've had disciples who are PhDs, 3 PhDs, 2 master's degrees. They come before me, the 4 regular, I don't know, Gurudev. A little nervous. So she was a little nervous. It's good to be nervous in front of our spiritual authorities because it's a sign of respect. And that's good because when they say something, you'll take it to heart because you respect them. So when my disciples come for initiation, I fill in for them. No meat eating, no. Yes, Gurudev. So Prabhupada said, and how many rounds of this Maha Mantra will you chant every day? So she gave the right answer. She said, Srila Prabhupada, 16 rounds minimum every day. I thought, that's very nice. She remembers the minimum. Srila Prabhupada, 16 rounds minimum. She went, minimum. It was reverberating through the hall. Minimum. Oh. But Prabhupada took it a little differently because Guru means heavy. So he leaned over and said, why minimum 16 rounds? Why not more? So she, Anyway, your name is. Because although Krishna is very far away, he's also near as well. That's what we hear in the Ishopanishad, one of the first books that Prabhupada translated and introduced into the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Ishopanishad. Sum and summary. Elegance is truth spoken concisely. Those verses are so important. And one of those verses states, yes, Krishna is very far away, but he's very near as well. There's many ways he's very near. He's in our hearts. I remember one time Prabhupada gave a lecture in Geneva, and he said that the super soul and the heart and the jiva are this close together. It was like a mudra. I remember, it's very clear in my mind. I never saw Prabhupada do something like that. He said they're this close together. I thought, wow, that's like an embrace or a loving embrace or something, They're this close together. So God is very close, and he's directing us, as we hear in Bhagavad Gita. If you want to material life, Krishna says, go for it. How can he be so cruel? Because once burnt, twice shy. Once you experience the real nature of this world, it's not all that it's made out to be in the advertising and the billboards, etc. It's a world of duality. So we get that bitter taste, and with that bitter taste, we look for an alternative, and the only alternative is spiritual life. And in this age, the only real alternative in spiritual life is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So the super soul and the jiva are this close together. And what is the super soul doing? He's just watching. He's watching. And he's waiting for that moment that we become tired of the bitter fruits of material life. The Svetasvatara Upanishad describes very nice. Another analogy. Analogies are so important. Another analogy. There's just 2 birds sitting in a tree. One bird is eating the fruits and berries, like you see birds do. They eat the fruits and berries. And there's one bird watching, not even closing his eyes. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but you know Jagannath, when he goes out on his famous Ratha Yatra parade, why does he come out of his temple? He's very comfortable there. He gets 52 offerings a day in Jagannath Puri, so many garlands, so many prayers, and rightfully so, because he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We're all his loving servants. But he leaves that comfortable position. He comes on a rocky chariot. It's all got wooden wheels. There's hardly proper suspension. But he comes out. Why does he come out? To see us. We are looking forward to seeing Lord Jagannath when he comes on the Ratha Yatra cart, because in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu it says that anyone, even a Malecha, a Yavana, a Chandala, if the cart goes by, Rupa Goswami writes, and out of some spirit of appreciation or even curiosity, somebody stands up to receive the Ratha Yatra cart as it goes by, Rupa Goswami classifies that person as an eternal associate of Vishnu. And there's no exaggeration in Krishna consciousness. It's all true. We just haven't experienced it yet. We're still infants in spiritual life. Anyone who stands up to receive Jagannath as he comes by, he's to be classified as an eternal associate of Vishnu. But Jagannath, we're looking at Jagannath, but Jagannath's also looking at you. If we get the glance of God, we're purified. Radha Kripa Kataksha Kavacha, you heard in Lord Shiva's prayers to Radharani. Very famous. Lord Shiva's prayer to Vrindavaneshwari, Srimati Radharani, which we often chant when we go to Radha Kund, when we bathe in the Kund. We repeat the prayers of Lord Shiva to Radharani. At the end of each verse, he's saying, please, Sri Radha, cast your merciful glance upon me. So that means something. Just like I remember when we were with Srila Prabhupada, it was difficult to get close to Prabhupada because there were so many bumblebees around him waiting for the nectar, the honey of Prabhupada's association. But Prabhupada had thousands of followers. So we felt it sufficient that if we were in Prabhupada's presence, he would just look at us. I remember one time Prabhupada was giving darshan at New Mayapur in France, our farm community there. We had a chateau, beautiful community, huge gurukul, cow protection, hundreds of devotees. So Prabhupada came, and he gave darshan on the lawn one evening. And at the end of the darshan, he said, so, any questions? And nobody raised their hand. So I thought, it was a crowd of 100 devotees. If I ask a question, Prabhupada's going to see me. He'll know that I'm his disciple. That's all I want. I just want my spiritual master to know that I live, that I've given my life to him. So I raised my hand. Prabhupada said, yes. And I went blank. Because I had no question. I just wanted him to, he's looking at me going, So he said, any question? So I had to think of it. I tried to think, I'm going to get a really, really good question here. So, And Prabhupada was speaking in his darshan about how a pure devotee sees Krishna everywhere. Everywhere a pure devotee sees Krishna in everything and everyone. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada, I started saying, you're saying a pure devotee sees Krishna everywhere, but Lord Chaitanya, the Yuga avatar, who appeared in the mood of a devotee in order to try to experience Radharani's love for Krishna. It's another topic. We won't just go into great detail. But Lord Chaitanya, who's in the mood of a devotee, he says he's not seeing Krishna anywhere. Oh, Govinda, feeling her separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years and more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain. Oh, Krishna, I'm feeling so vacant in the world in your absence. I said, Prabhupada, it appears to be contradictory. You're saying a devotee sees Krishna everywhere. Lord Chaitanya says, I don't see you anywhere. I'm missing you. It's a very deep subject matter. Vipralamba bhav, being separated from Krishna increases our love for Krishna. Separation makes the heart grow fonder. So Prabhupada, he looked at me very carefully. And I got the glance I wanted, but I'm, whoa. Prabhupada said, this is a very deep subject matter, young man. You will understand it one day when you're very advanced. I went, wow. Prabhupada said, I'm going to understand it someday. My spiritual master said, I took it like that. It's a general instruction to everyone. He said, one day I'll understand that when I'm very advanced. And I was very happy. Oh, I just got a little glance from my spiritual. Even the question was too advanced for me to even ask. But it kind of made sense. So just his glance was enough. For Shiva, just a glance of Sri Radha is enough. So Jagannath, he comes out of the temple, this big parade. Jagannath the Swami, Nayana Patagami, Bhavatume. O Lord of the universe, kindly be visible unto us. And he's visible. But what's happening? Love is a two-way street. Love is reciprocal. So as we're looking to Jagannath for mercy, because most of our practice, we'll just be quite frank here, we're making our attempts, Mangal Arti, Tulsi Puja, chanting Hare Krishna, mind wandering, relishing prasadam because it tastes good. And, we're making our efforts, but really, our progress depends upon the mercy of Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava. This is a movement of mercy. And that's how we make our attempts, like a little child starting to walk, and, oh, good, oh, that's so nice. Their parents, like Prabhupada, there's a picture of Prabhupada in one of the Leela Mritas where, he was staying at Sally Agarwal's house, and the first day their little son, Bridge, took his first step. There's a photo. Prabhupada, oh, Prabhupada's eyes, oh, very nice. This kid's just taking his first step. Prabhupada's so appreciative. So any effort we make to serve Krishna after millions of years of rebellion, Krishna's so pleased with us. So here's the cart going down, and we're looking at Jagannath, and Jagannath's looking at us. He's giving his glance to the millions of people in Jagannath Puri who come for that festival. He's so eager to glance, to see, because glancing means giving mercy when we speak about sadhus or the Supreme Lord himself. It's not an ordinary glance. Everything about Krishna is divine. So his glance, you remember me? I left the spiritual world, God, billion years ago. So he's going down the parade. He's so eager to give his mercy by his glance, he doesn't blink. The gopis cursed Brahma, the creator of this universe, under the direction of the Supreme. They cursed the gopis, sweet, innocent, cowherd girls. They cursed the creator. Hello, Brahma with 4 heads, all powerful, created the 14 worlds and the universe. Little village girls, we curse you, Brahma. Like, why are you cursing me? Because you made eyes which have to blink. So we can't see our Kanai, our lovable Krishna, for a moment. We have to almost forget him for a moment. Blink, I can't see him open. You make eyes that blink. So Lord Jagannath is so kind that, and so merciful, and wanting us to come back to Godhead more than we want to come back to Godhead. He doesn't blink. Have you ever seen Jagannath blink? Subhadra blink? Balaram blink? Oh, it's just a wooden statue painted, so how can it blink? No. My dear Lord, you are not a statue. You are directly the son of Maharaj Nanda. The Brahmana, little boy, came back to Vrindavan to ask Sakshi Gopal to stand as witness when he, back in Orissa, so that the Brahmana who had promised his daughter to that younger Brahmana in front of the deity, I promise I'll give my daughter to you when we get back because you've done nice service. When he got back, he said, oh, I forget that promise. So the boy came all the way to Vrindavan, back to Vrindavan, and came before the deity with full conviction. Lord, can you stand as a witness at my village so that young girl can be my wife? So the deity, you can even visit that deity. He's in Orissa now. He said, yes, my young boy. What, the deity spoke? He spoke, the deity spoke. The boy said, oh, wow. And the deity said, I will follow you. I'll walk behind you to Orissa and stand as your witness. So the boy's kind of naive, pure devotee, little naive. He said, well, you're a deity. How will you walk? How will you walk behind me to stand as my witness in Jagannath Puri? So the deity said, little boy, if I can talk, I can walk. And walk he did. And Prabhupada said at the installation of Chota Radha Krishna, little Radha Krishna in La Cienega Temple in California, Los Angeles, very early in the movement, he installed little Chota brass Radha and Krishna, very cute deities. And Prabhupada said to all the devotees assembled, if you think these deities are brass, they'll remain brass to you forever. But if you worship them with bhav, if you worship them with love, as much as love as you can muster, but some love is there, otherwise, why have you joined this movement? If you worship them with the proper rules and regulations, with as much devotion as you can muster. Sometimes when the little baby said, Mommy, I love you. Or the little girl I'm staying with, she comes up to me all the time, she says, Maharaj, do you need anything? She's 6 or 7, all the time she's coming up. Maharaj, do you need anything? Oh, yeah, I'm okay. Your dad's here, your mom, but do you need anything? She's like so concerned, do you need anything? Melts your heart. Mm-hmm. So Prabhupada said, if you worship these deities with as much devotion as you can muster, then one day these deities will speak to you. So when this happened, this little boy, this little Brahmana, when the deity spoke to him and said he'd follow him, he said, his conclusion was, very famous verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, my dear Lord, you are not a statue. You are directly the son of Maharaj Nanda. Sometimes I told this story in public, and the Christians, with all due respect, the Christians were, you're idol worshippers. You worship God in some material form. You're idol worshippers. I say, young man, I've read the Bible many times. I've read the Quran 3 times. I've read the Lotus Sutras of Buddha. I've read the Torah. I read them all, and when I read Bhagavad Gita, that's my book. Perfect questions, perfect answers. But with all due respect to other spiritual traditions, I say in the Bible, you know Moses. And I always fold my hands, Moses. Moses, the Lord spoke to Moses in the form of a burning bush. I don't know how many of you converted from Christianity to Hinduism, but that's a fact. Moses appeared, the Lord appeared to Moses as a form of a burning bush and spoke to Moses. It's right there in the Bible. So I say, if we're idol worshippers, you're bush worshippers. And it shuts them up. Because I said, the Lord's present everywhere. Everyone can agree. Every religion knows the Lord's everywhere. He can't be in the form of the deity? No. Well, you say he's everywhere. They go, Mum. So Jagannath's on the chariot, going down the Rath Yatra to Gambhira temple where he'll reside for a week, and then the parade will come back. He's not even blinking. He's looking at us, we're getting his favorable glance. Same principle is there when you go to the temple. We go to the temple to see Shishi Radha Radhanath, Gaurnitai, Nrsingadev, Giriraj, and we're looking at them. That's darshan. But darshan means the Lord's also looking at us. What's he doing up there on the altar? Why is he there? Why has the Lord come in the form of the deity? Prabhupada said, deity worship, that's Archa Vigraha. He said, that's the most merciful form of Krishna. I said, what? The deity's the most merciful form of Krishna? And Prabhupada said, yes, because Krishna comes and Krishna goes, but deity stays. Krishna was 148 years. Planet. Mahaprabhu was 48 years on this planet. Nrsimhadev was 10 minutes on this planet. One incarnation for one devotee. That's how kind God is. When Nrsimhadev came, did he deliver anybody else? No, he came and did his surgery. And he probably displayed his surgery by, I don't know if Sunil Mohan, after an operation, he takes the operation and wears it. Sunil, where are you? ENT specialist. The doctor doesn't take, the organs and display them. Nrsimhadev was so proud of Prahlad, my pure devotee. You were fearless. He took the entrails of Hiranyakashipu and wore them like a flower garland. And then what did he do? He went back to Vaikuntha. So one incarnation for one. Who can say God is not kind? There's so much suffering in this world. How can there be God? Hey, he's coming every day. It's described in Gita. He comes once in a day of Brahma. And generally scholars, Vedic scholars, they calculate time by the time of the demigods because they're more elevated than us. What is our time compared to the time of this elevated society on higher planets? Like, who cares about ants' time? Ants' time is insignificant to us, so the demigods' time, our time is insignificant to them. So therein we hear that Krishna comes once in a day of Brahma. And what does he do? Knocks on the door. Hello, who's in there? This is the Yuga Dharma. In Satya Yuga, you do meditation. Concentrate to Yuga. Hello, everybody, open the door. The process in this age is ritualistic activities. Spa. And he comes into Pura Yuga. I'm here in my original form. Everybody come watch my Braj Leela and be inspired to come home. And in Kali Yuga, Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam. Kalo, Nasteva, 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 Katira. All you fools and rascals. I don't care how fallen you are. You're in the prison house of material existence. You can be reformed and get special blessings to get out. You'll be forgiven if you just take these 3 words and decorate your tongue. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. One time in Rome, Prabhupada was speaking something like this, and he kind of stopped and he said, who would not take to this process of Krishna consciousness? They're saying we're crazy. We're saying they're crazy because they're not accepting this very simple and sublime process for getting free from dukkhalayam shashvatam. Krishna summarizes the material world with all its phantasmagoria, from the highest planet down to the lowest planet. He put it all in a few words. Dukkhalayam shashvatam. Give me a summary, not a long-winded lecture. Just get straight, cut to this, what is it, the quick. What is it? Dukkhalayam shashvatam. What does that mean? A temporary place full of suffering, Baba. Prabhupada said, this material world is no place for a lady or a gentleman. So here we have the opportunity. Harinam Sankirtan. Chanting. And it's made very wonderful because it's congregational chanting. It means you come together and you chant Hare Krishna. And Krishna hears because it's loud and there's a lot of bhav. In every assembly of devotees, there's advanced devotees, there's Madhyamadikaris who are well on the way, and there's neophytes and there's newcomers, eyes wide open. What's happening here? But all together, Krishna Varnam Trishak Krishnam Shungabhanga Shubhashadam Yagnai Sankatam Praya Yajanti Hishu Vedasha. Previously, those in our line, they were Babajis. Sometimes we think badly of Babajis, but no. Gaurakrishna Das, Babaji. Jagannath Das, Babaji. They turned their backs on material existence and they were just chanting 192 rounds a day, living in very austere conditions. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted congregational chanting. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, taking that clue, he started this, getting even just the people off the street to come in the kirtan party or come to the festivals and participate and understand how nice this process is. And we're better off like that. Let's say the city has some complaint about something. There's too much traffic in the city, so only people with these last three letters in their license plate can come into the city on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The others numbers they have to come in, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, something like that. They do that in London now. Only certain. So people, hey, no, I want to come with my car anytime. So you're upset with the city hall. You come outside the city hall and you start screaming. They're having a meeting. All the mayor and all of his cabinet, they're talking about something. You don't like this new law, so you come outside. Hey, you guys, open the window. I want to make a complaint. I want to drive my car into London any day I want. The window's a little open. Mayor comes, closes the window. What's that? Some guy yelling outside. But if hundreds or thousands of people in London don't like this new law, and they go outside the city hall, and they all raise one voice, hello, open the window. They've got placards, they're screaming, they're yelling. So the mayor sends down a representative. Find out what's happening. Well, they have a complaint, so send 4 or 5 of them, we will discuss it. You come up for a discussion. We want every day for everyone. No. You go back down, you tell the crowd, they don't agree. Finally, tens of thousands of people come when the mayor says, all right, okay, cool down. We heard you. So in the same way, we have our appeal. We have our 16 rounds minimum. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. That's good. Krishna's in your heart. He can feel the vibration. My dear Lord, my dear Sri Radhika, please pick me up from this ocean of death. That's okay. But when he hears a large festival like this, where many devotees come together, at the top of their lungs, they chant Hare Krishna. Lord Chaitanya recommends, that's the best, congregational chanting. So these events are so important because we may be who we are, a new bhakti and a new bhakta. We may be not so advanced because we have so many distractions in this world. So it's good to come to these festivals and chant and dance very loudly because Krishna will hear. He's in the city hall in the spiritual world and he hears this loud commotion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. So we're safest. Our strength is in our numbers. If there's one stick trying to hold something up, it's very weak. You put many sticks together, it can hold something up. Our strength is in numbers because in the association of devotees like this, we can hear from our superiors. We can make strong friendship because we need friends. A friend in need is a friend indeed. We really need to go back to Godhead, so we have God brothers and God sisters on the same level. We can come together and share Krishna consciousness. And there's always devotees less advanced than us. We can be kind and compassionate upon them, give a hand and pull them up to our level. This is Vaishnava society. These gatherings of sadhu sangha are so important. Because when we chant here, although Krishna is very far away, in Goloka Vrindavan, his eyes and ears are everywhere. Abhigna Swarat. Krishna's omnipresent through both the spiritual and material creations, and being so, he knows everything that's happening everywhere. So when we make a combined effort through a festival like this to chant Hare Krishna, we can be sure that we're responding to Krishna's knock. Every day he comes to this material world, and he's knocking, and we're opening the door saying, yes, dear Lord, what is it? My instruction is Harinam. Go prem dan Harinam Shankirtan, Naratan says. This chanting has come from the spiritual world. Kali Kali Nam Rup, Krishna avatar. The sound of Krishna's aim is an avatar. In this age, it's come. And in the age of Kali, he doesn't just come like Nrsimhadev for a few minutes, or with all due respect, Krishna comes 148 years. He comes as a constant reminder, a constant plea. Please come back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. So we come to these festivals primarily to gain faith in the holy names. That's why we come. Because that is the singular process for this age for becoming purified and awakening our love of God. That verse, Kali Kali Nam Krishna Avatar. Krishna has come. Yes, he's very, very far away, but he's come in the form of his holy name. If you want his intimate, loving association, beyond Aishwarya Bhav, just Vaikuntha mood of Surya Sur. If you want Krishna as your dearmost friend, as you want him in the mood of a parent, if you want him as your lover, he's available in that mantra. So that mantra is our be-all and end-all of existence, that mantra. And the more we come together and hear the glories of the holy name, our faith in this process of chanting Hare Krishna, it increases and it increases and increases. And therefore Prabhupada's instruction to that young girl, because when the spiritual master gives an instruction, it's actually meant for all of his followers and all of humanity. So we're kind of laughing at that young girl. A minimum of 16 rounds, Prabhupada? Prabhupada said, why minimum? Because life is short and then you die. You don't know how much time you have. So we should chant as much as we can. So when we leave a festival like this, of this caliber, so many advanced devotees, so many friends, and so many, we're welcoming newcomers, we should leave this festival purified with more faith in the holy name. So starting tomorrow when we chant our japa, it's of a different quality. And maybe a different quantity. I remember in Indradyumna Mosque, we told that story that Prabhupada said wine minimum, so I'm going to start chanting 17, 18. Yes. Like when you go to a house of God. It's a house of God. The Lord is present there as the cross. As the name of Allah, Akbara, Humdillah, Salam Alaikum. God is present in the words. His name is not different than him, Allah. If you go to the synagogue, if you go to the temple of Buddha, these are places where God is especially there. He's especially there. Just like a man, he has a big family, a social activity, but he's got his business. So he spends most of his time at the office. That's his driving passion, the office. He's present everywhere in so many ways, but he's really present in his office because that's his heart, how he maintains his family, becomes famous, and gets lots of money. So Krishna is everywhere, but it's especially in the house where we go to worship him. He's present. Like when I'm traveling around the world, and I'm in places like Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Dagestan, Dagestan. I make sure when I have some time, I'll visit a mosque. There's no temples sometimes. I went to Samarkand. Samarkand was the old pilgrimage sites, even before Mecca. Samarkand. It's a beautiful poem about Samarkand. I think this was in Tajikistan, before Dagestan. I was traveling with Sri Prahlad, going through all the Muslim countries. Hare Krishna, not in public, in private homes, sneaking a book into somebody's grocery bag or something. Those are the exciting days, the golden days. So we went to Samarkand. So beautiful. Old mosques. They're almost deserted. And we'd go there and we'd read a little bit of the Quran, and then we'd chant our rounds. Hare Krishna. Get inspired. And when I'm in Europe, my favorite place is to spend time with the Franciscan monks. They're very renounced. They're all celibate. And they spend most of their day just praying to Jesus. And their diet's very simple, even more simple than my present diet. I just have quinoa and avocado for 9 months now. I was a big fat Swami. And I had to, for health, I had to slim down a little bit. So, just so frustrating for the cooks. Swami, come to our house and have something to eat. We can cook 108 prep. No, quinoa and avocado. Sorry, ladies. So when you visit the Franciscan monks, breakfast is apple and a piece of bread. No butter, makan, no honey. Lunch is apple, piece of bread, and a bowl of soup. Dinner is an apple. So I go to associate with my Christian brothers. Not for too long. You can't really say, Mahaprasad Govinde Nama Brahmani. You can't really say it with so enthusiasm. We're looking at an old apple and some soup and stale piece of bread. God bless them. Their renunciation is so inspiring. But I go. And I go to the prayers. And when I was living in France for almost 20 years, every day going on Harinam Sankirtan, there was only one temple, Hare Krishna temple, outside the city. So when we had lunch, they'd bring lunch from the temple in these big pots, rice, dal, subjis, halava, simply wonderful. I stayed in France a long time because as a young man, the prasad was always really good. The French cooks, la cuisine, la française cuisine. So the ladies would join, they become very expert. So we were doing Harinam Sankirtan every day on the street, 9 hours a day, chanting, dancing, no microphones, no harmoniums, no accordions, just a couple pairs of kartals and a drum. We were dancing all over the city. When it came time for lunch, they'd bring the pots, and where were we going to eat? So we'd always find a local church, and we'd sneak in with the pots, and we'd sit down in the church in front of Jesus on the cross, and we'd say some holy prayer. My dear Lord, we thank you for this grace today that you've given us this food, and please, Lord Jesus, you bless us, and then we'd eat. And the house of God, because there was just something stimulating, being in a place of worship of our Lord. So, like that, we're in a house of God, there's something special. So, we have here in South Africa beautiful centers. We're all coming together from different centers in Johannesburg. We have our most beautiful Shishi Radharanath in Durban, our Ishta Days in Kaapstad, Cape Town, I think Gordita, I don't know. But when you go into a house of God, you should come out a different person. You shouldn't go in there just to socialize. Hey, man, how you doing? How you keeping, Mom? What's the news? Yeah, did you hear this about that person? No. We don't come like in some churches in America that the old ladies come on Sunday to play bingo or dominoes. Of course, they need association, but we come to a house of God to pray for mercy. We to come to pray for mercy. So we should come it's joyful, but it's a serious endeavor to visit a temple of the Lord. And this is a temple today. A temple is wherever God's present. And God is present today, fully. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. So just like after a shower, you get out of the shower, you feel refreshed, isn't it? When it's hot weather in India, we take 3 showers a day. It's refreshing, you feel refreshed. So when you come to a program like this, you're cleansing the heart of lust, anger, and greed, and all the obstacles in the path of pure devotion to Radhe Shyam. So we should come with a serious mood. I'm not going to be a wallflower, and there's no walls here. I'm not going to just watch the kirtan. I'm going to dance in the kirtan. Oh, but I'm old. I'm old. old. So was Advaitacharya. He's a beard. He's old. He was dancing. So was Jagannath Das Babaji. He was carried to the suspected place of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. Bhaktivinoda Thakur bought him, Jagannath Das Babaji to confirm, is this where Nitai, or is this where Nitai, Lord Chaitanya took birth? Is that the neem tree? Because he knew his guru would confirm it. And by that time, Jagannath Das Babaji, he was over 100 years old. He couldn't see. The skin had come down over his eyes. If he wanted to see something, he had to go like this. So old. Come on. When he came to that place, to confirm it was the appearance side of Lord Chaitanya, he jumped out of that palanquin and started dancing like a 16-year-old boy. So age is no consideration. We should come to these programs for the primary purpose of not hearing too long a lecture, Swami, but to be inspired to chant and dance while singing these holy names of Krishna. So that if I'm not so advanced, but there's other advanced devotees here, Krishna is listening, and he'll shower his mercy. Every day will be like Ratha Yatra. Every day, Krishna will come in the form of his name. He'll look into our hearts. He'll glance at us. If we get that glance, that day is successful. So we're doing it every day with our japa, but we need like a big burst to get free from the influence of this material energy. Just like a rocket ship, when it goes up, the real challenge is to get beyond the law of gravity. Because as soon as you break through that law of gravity, which is encircling the Earth planet, you go into space. It just floats like that. That's why they have those boosters. And the satellite, it breaks through the law of gravity. It's free. So we are still under the control of the modes of nature. So we need a booster shot to get through that influence. So we come and this is a festival. We break through the law, break on through to the other side. It's an old song from the 60s. Break on through to the other side. And then we're free spirits, free to go back home, back to Godhead. So in conclusion, let's have kirtan. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.